Well, hello you guys. I have a really cute summer little drink tray to make with you today. So we are going to use a very cute napkin. Look how adorable this napkin is. I've been saving it since last summer. It's got little drink things on it like margaritas and daiquiri and stuff. So I had to save this. I've been saving this since last summer so I could do something with it. And I found the perfect idea. Okay, then you know how when Joann Fabrics was going out, I don't know if they're closed in your area, but I picked up this for a very reasonable price. It's kind of like a shadow box that you can make a frame out of, but this is going to be my tray part. So let's put it together. We're going to do the first step. So you are going to grab some white chalk paint, preferably white chalk paint because it's thicker and you don't have to do as many coats. So it makes everyone's life so much easier. So here is the first step. So let's get this whole board painted first. Okay, here we go. We are painting. And we are just going to start with the inside. Now, some of you may be wondering, why are we painting it if we're just going to put the napkin down anyway? Well, once we start tearing that napkin apart, it's going to be a really thin layer. And whatever you have in the background is going to show through that layer. So we always want to give a base of white or whatever color would go good with the napkin. So we are going to paint all of this white first. All right, you guys, now that we have our board completely dry, it could use a second coat, but I don't think it's necessary. It's dry, and if you can see here, I did not paint the edges because I think we might do something different with this. So now that it's completely dry, I'm going to take this tag off, I never did. We are going to take the napkin like so, and now, if you've ever done napkin decoupage, you need to, okay, so there is a thin layer, or they're actually in two pieces. Gosh, I grabbed it so easy. Okay, two pieces. We're going to very carefully, this one's pretty darn easy, but we're going to pull this one apart. And so you just have the thin layer. So it is thin, so you have to be careful when you work with this because we're going to be working with Mod Podge. So you're going to get it centered like so. Let's put it down a little bit. We're going to get it centered in the middle. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm just really very carefully getting it all laid out. No wrinkles, flattening it out. Now you can take a pen or a pencil. We're going to take a pencil and we're just going to very carefully, because it's thin, go right along the edge because I need to know where we're going to cut. So you can just drag your pencil right along the edge, trying not to move it so it doesn't pull from the other sides. You want to keep it tight and taut in those corners because when you cut it out, you would rather have more than less because you could always, cut, some longer edges, but you can't go back. So just make sure that you are not shortening the napkin cuts here. Okay, so you've got the napkin. As you can see the pencil line, and we're just going to cut this out. Okay, we just have the last piece here, last couple cuts. Okay, so you have your nice square, okay? Now, if you find a napkin that doesn't have the extra edge on it, it may just fit in here perfectly. But if not, just shape it out according to your wooden frame here. And then it fits really nice, you can see. All right, so we're gonna take this out. I need the pencil. Grab a corner, and you're going to grab your Mod Podge and you're going to grab a paintbrush because this is going to be the fun part. All right, take your Mod Podge, and I just have a matte. You can use matte or gloss, it does not matter. And as you can see, I'm running out of this one. So we probably would be smart to have another one handy here. I should have enough to get me through here. So we are just painting a good layer. It's kind of hard to tell. Make sure you've got a whole good layer in the light, because once you lay your napkin down, you do not want any bubbles, because it's going to be too hard to go back, because you won't be able to rip that napkin up. So I am just turning it around simply so I can see the Mod Podge layer and make sure I'm getting everything good. Make sure you get it good in the corners. All right, so you're gonna take your napkin, I'll face it, doesn't matter, it looks like it can go either way, and we're going to lay it down like so, getting in. This is the part, if you're gonna rip it, this is gonna be the time that you're gonna do it, so you have to be careful. Careful, careful. Now you can see how I'm pressing, getting some of those bubbles out. Go through, make sure it's down on all the edges. Like so, okay? See how great that looks? Now we're gonna take another layer. Some people prefer to wait on this, but we're gonna take another layer and we are gonna go right over it gently, gently. I just don't like to wait, so I have learned that you can do this very carefully. So I'm going to show you my very careful way. If you have not gotten sick of me pounding on this Mod Podge. So with napkins, you want to be very gentle, like I said a couple times already. And the more Mod Podge that you have, the better, because you're not fighting with a little bit in the dryness. So definitely more is better. So go overboard with this Mod Podge if you can, because you can kind of, it's going to dry clear and you can wipe it off if you want. But I am running out, so this probably wasn't the best, but I'm going to have enough for this project, so this is good. You're going to make sure you get in all the edges, and this is just going to seal it. So when you have drinks or food on it and it spills on it, it's going to seal it instead of ruin the top of the napkin and make it bleed. Around all the edges, making sure everything's down really well. Don't want anything coming up. You can kind of see some of the bubbles. I'm going to show you in the light. You can see how it's a little bit, it's got little tiny cracks in it, which is really kind of cool. But that is how it's going to look. Do not think that when you do yours that this is not normal, because this is how a napkin always lays, whether you're doing a soup can or whatever else, that's how it lays. But if you can see, I did it so gently. Maybe it looks like it's going harder than it is, but just make sure you have a lot of Mod Podge. Okay, so step 2. Now I have to decide if we're going to paint this white or what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you the second step. I'm going to let this dry and we're going to start with the second step, or maybe it'll be the third step. Hello, all right, you guys, I've got this much done here. So the last part we did is we put a coat of white along the edge, and then we put this napkin decoupage in the middle with the Mod Podge. So now we are ready for the next step. This is coming together, it's so cute. So I have decided, I wanted to do a green, but I have decided I'm going to keep it all white. So I wanted to do this in 2 steps because I didn't want to get in a hurry like I always am and smudge what I've already done. So we are going to do this next part. It's very simple. I think this whole project is simple, actually. Probably the hardest part right now, I would say, is making sure that you don't tear that napkin. So, okay, we're just going to take this edge and we're just going to do 1 coat along the edge. I've got something. It's probably from that paintbrush drying. So do you guys know the trick? You guys probably know, but I always put if I know I'm going to use the white again or something, I don't take the time to rinse off the brush and all the stuff. I just, look at my hair, it's crazy. Oh well, I just noticed that I was outside. But I don't take the time to rinse off the brush and everything. I just take a plastic bag like this. These are the short ones. And my husband was just making fun of me. Who gets these short bags? Why would you get half a bag, and this is perfect for projects like this. So there has been a couple times that I've proven him wrong because he's picked up those darn bags. But anyway, they are perfect for this project as well. So you just put that paintbrush in the bag and it stays wet, so you can just bring it back out and you haven't wasted your time washing the paintbrush, letting it dry, because you want to have a dry paintbrush for this, because otherwise, you know, the water makes it thinner. So you have to make sure that you have a dry brush for any time that you paint. And we're just going to finish this last side, which is going to be tricky because I'm holding on to it. So this is what it's looking like. Do you see? Can you see it coming together? How cute is this? Can you see it? So, and then here, this is what you can do too. I see I just smudged that side, but this is what you can do here. If you see little things in here that might need another coat or little smudges or something, this is a good time to go over it. So you don't even have to dip again, just go over those little marks there. If you are somebody that wants a good, you know, you're a little bit more of a perfectionist and you want a good coat, you can do 2 coats before you go on to this next part. So this is my last side. And if you notice, I still have the string here hanging because that is, it's really supposed to be a frame, but we have turned it into a tray. But we're probably going to get rid of that string. I just wasn't for sure exactly what I wanted to do with it, so I left it on there. And it's not in the way too much because it's behind. So you have that done. Voila! See, this is what this string's good for holding it like this. Okay, so set it somewhere. Like I'm just going to set it on top of my twine, and we're going to let it dry. And then I'm going to show you the next really pretty step that is going to make this. So stay tuned. All right, you guys, last and final step. Now that this is dry, and you'll be happy to know I fixed my hair. All right, so this is dry. We are going to take this off. Well, are we going to take this off? We're going to pull it. Maybe we're going to pull it. I might have to cut this. Okay, well, that one did not come out, so I'm hoping my piece stays in just as good as this one did. All right, so here we go. Here's this, and we're gonna want to do it. Let's see. These are gonna be the sides because this is the front. So we're gonna do this side, and what we're gonna do here is I have these adorable little bead strings. Okay, from where else but Dollar Tree. And we are going to make little handles. However, I've got to do this here because I do not think that we need the whole handle. I got to measure here. I think that we're going to cut this down a little bit. So what we're going to do is these are kind of tied on the end. They looped it around so they could secure that last little bead. So what we're going to do is if I can untie it here, we're going to just take a few of these beads out because otherwise it's just going to be kind of unnatural to have these handles so long. So we'll get this untied. Okay, and here we go. It's coming undone. I mean, who the heck ties those so good? Jeez. Okay, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to take off 6 of them. I'm going to kind of eyeball that, and then we're going to tie the last one, and we're just going to put a knot on the end. We're not going to tie it like they did, even though that was a pretty darn good secure knot. We're just going to put a little tie on the end. And these, if you're wondering, these beads come in a strand like this, okay? Plus the 6 that I just took off. So we're going to turn this over. After your thing is completely dry, we are going to tie a knot on this because we are going to staple this on the back, but we want to make sure that that's actually like double secure. So if it starts to slide through this way, the knot's going to catch it, okay? So we are going to kind of put it, if you want to measure, I don't have my ruler, so I'm going to eyeball this, but we're just going to measure, and let me put this down here. And we're going to kind of do like so. It's going to be both in the middle because it'll be natural that way if you were to pick it up. So we're gonna do the first side that I've got a knot on. I'm gonna take my staple gun and I'm just gonna put one staple. You can do a couple if you want. I don't think I need it right now. And I think that I'm gonna undo this other side as well because I don't love that the bead is not laying right, and I'm afraid it's gonna mess up the end of the handle. Okay, so we'll just take that one off altogether. So I'm going to tie a knot. Oops, that did not work out. We're gonna tie a knot that's tighter at the base so those beads are tight in there. And then we're going to come this way, and we want to do that knot again. So it looks like I'm doing a lot of knots here, but I did one to secure those beads from falling off. And then I'm going to do this one, and I want it to be about right here, which is going to be about 1 inch off. And I'm going to staple it, and that should hold it up pretty good. You see those staples in the back? I just did one and stapled it. So these are going to be the handles. How cute. I love anything with these beads or polka dots or any accent. So we're gonna do the same thing to this side. Okay, so this is done, and you can see I have 24 beads on either side. I have attached them with a staple and that little knot. I can cut this off right here so it's not catching on anything. And you have it ready to hang and serve drinks. How cute. This frame turned into a drink tray or plate tray or whatever you want to do, and it was simple and everybody can do it. So I hope that you loved it and you can go out and try one. Thank you.